Zachariah discusses the effects of the Islamic threat. He goes into great detail discussing terrorism and how it has affected Americans. Although many in the Western world see terrorism as an ever-growing problem, Zachariah compares it to previous acts of attack, as said that the amount of casualties actually caused by terrorism has diminished over the years. He believes that many feel the threat of terrorism is higher than before because of increased internet and media coverage. For every suicide bomber or IED, there is a news article or internet blog discussing it. He adds that the control terrorists have has also decreased. They have not been able to plan a successful attack post 9/11.
The actual effect on the American economy and society would actually be very, very little. You know, it's a $13 trillion economy. 3 malls going out of action for a couple of days will not do very much. Look at what happened with the London bombings. The stock market went up 12 hours later to its original levels. You know, people realize that actually after a while, these things are not actually that big, and big modern Western economies are very large and very complex. But here's what would happen. Point 2, Washington would go berserk. There would be mass hysteria, there would be a new Patriot Act, there would be all that, and that's where you need the political leadership to say, look, this is not the answer. The answer is that we bounce back, we are resilient, we show these people that we don't cower in fear, we show them that we don't alter our constitutional framework and our balance of powers and our balance between rights and liberties.
Many Muslims are against terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda because they themselves feel threatened and do not want to have to surrender to terrorist ideals. There is a growing conflict between terrorist organizations than there is in that of such organizations against countries. They are too busy fighting against one another now for power. A real threat would be if they got access to nuclear arms. However, Zachariah says that it's more difficult to do so than seen on TV series, for example that of 24.
Look, I know how it looks. The beard, the packages, fly without a passport. But I'm Santa.
Yeah. Prove it.
The red suit, jingly bells, my reindeer on your roof.
Give me the names.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen.
Stop wasting my time! Give me the names!
They are the real names.
I'm done talking with you, you understand me?
Zachariah then moves on to discuss the Great Expansion. He talks about the growth of other economies, saying that 2 factors, a low starting point and a large population, are what guarantee the magnitude and long-term nature of the global growth power. The 3 forces, politics, economics, and technology. Economics is a leader of these 3, swiftly followed by the growth of technology. These 3 forces also give countries everywhere fresh opportunities to start moving up the ladder of growth and prosperity. Global growth is the big story of our times. As the world gets more interconnected and financial instruments more exotic, many observers worry that the virtuous cycle of growth and confidence could turn into a vicious one of panic and depression. He places an importance on countries acting responsibly with their growing power, using Canada as an example. The rise of nationalism in countries such as China and India with growing economies. Imagine that you lived in a country that had been poor and unstable for centuries, and then finally things turn and your nation is on the rise. You would be proud and anxious for it to be seen. He, however, sees nationalism as a backwards ideology. He then goes on to discuss the last superpower. He says that America is in danger of following Europe down the tubes, and the worst part is that nobody knows it. They are all in denial, patting themselves on the back as the Titanic heads straight for the iceberg, full speed ahead. As countries grow faster, America's relative economic weight will fall. All of these countries are catching up while America hits a plateau. A non-Western world. Almost everywhere in a non-Western world, society was weak and dependent on government. Many focused on their cultures, and financially, it has played out and helped them grow. In Europe, we have the Christian culture and the power of kings. However, European expansion had its downside. Within 100 years of initial European contact, one trend was unmistakable and irreversible. These encounters changed or destroyed the existing political, social, and economic arrangements in non-Western societies.